Hey dudes, today I want to talk about the difference between automation and preview mode. So let's jump right into it and see what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to just show you a few examples of what I would call traditional touch automation. So remember, when you're doing automation, you're going to do touch, latch, right? Whatever. My favorite is always touch. And what I'm going to do is hit the minus button while I'm in this track to bring up the volume automation line. And I will bring up this fader and I'm going to hit play.
Here is a
and in real time, I'm going to turn this down and up, down, and make a roller coaster.
Example of dialogue speaking at -24 LUF.
And when I let go, it comes back up to its original resting place, which happened to be 0 dB because there was no more automation dots here or anything like that. So there you go. That's traditional touch automation. So I'll try this with EQ automation going at the same time.
Here is a recording of me talking evenly. There are no real spikes. It's a pretty good example of dialogue speaking at -24 LUFs.
Probably not something that you want to do. Pretty funky, but I'm just going to play it again one more time and you'll see that, of course, the volume is going up and down and my EQ is going up and down.
Here is a recording of me talking evenly. There are no real spikes.
So this mode is great if you need to change the volume from quieter to louder, or make it pan from right to left, or change something in real time with the EQ where it's changing over time, and this touch automation mode will memorize every time you are touching the automation. So let's compare that to what preview mode does. So you can go to Window and Automation, and I will bring this over here, and I'm going to engage preview mode by turning it on like this. Now I'm going to do the same two moves that I did earlier with my volume and my EQ, and I'm going to show you that it does not work the same way. So the big difference is you can see that this is green. I'm going up and down, and you'll notice there's no red lines or automation keyframes or anything like that. And then sometimes they can just, I will start over. Sometimes you get really quiet recordings. And I'm doing the same moves with my EQ. And this time you'll also see that wherever I let go, it's not like touch automation in the sense that it returns to its nominal resting place. It just stops where you stop. So one way that you can think of this mode is you can literally just preview things until you're happy and done previewing. Click preview, and it will not remember anything that you did. So if I hit play, no volume, no EQ. Another way to think of preview mode is just to set an in and out point and change automation just for that period of time. So not over time where it's moving up and down, but just a final move from this duration in and out. So let me show you that because it might make a little more sense if we see that in practice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go into preview mode. I'm going to turn this up and down.
There is a recording of me speaking a little bit.
So you're seeing that I'm moving this, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm more or less even when I'm speaking. I'm going to leave it at plus 6 dB. And I am going to go to a preset special effect and make this a phone call.
Here is a recording of me speaking.
Pretty boring phone call, but you guys get the idea. I have now adjusted the volume to plus 6, and I've adjusted a bunch of parameters on the EQ to look like this and sound more like a phone call. And all I have to do now is make a selection and find this button here that says Write Automation to Selection. Hit Write. It'll tell me that I have written some controls, which is great. I hit OK. You'll see that my volume is bumped up here. If I click over here, my EQ is back to normal. My volume is back to normal. If I click here, my EQ has changed. So if I just play a section from here, it'll have no volume automation and no EQ, and then it'll change. Regular voice.
Here is a recording of me speaking a little bit on the quiet side.
I do have a video that goes into much more detail about preview mode, but I wanted to make this video to try to explain the difference between touch automation and preview mode. I realize the name could be a little misleading. Preview mode makes it sound like you're going to preview or demo something, but you can in fact use preview mode that way. You can make a bunch of changes in preview mode and then simply hit preview mode button again, and it forgets all of those changes. So you can use it to demo something. Another way that I like to use it, however, is to make a bunch of changes and then make a selection over time, or make an in and an out, and then apply those changes just to that area. So that is one way that I like to write automation, is in preview mode. But another way that I have to write automation is in touch automation mode. And the way I have to use touch automation is when I want to change something over time, like increase or decrease volume, or pan something from right to left, or shift an EQ in place where it is fluid and moving over time. So anytime you need to create automation dots, keyframes, whatever you want to call them, you're probably going to want to do that in regular touch automation mode. Anytime you just want to change a whole scene or a whole clip or a whole area, you're probably going to do that in preview mode. All right, well, I hope that starts to crack the mystery of the difference between touch automation and preview mode. I have to use both of them in all of my sessions, and I hope you get to use them too. Until next time, later, dudes.